feel nauseous, believe me. Never had a lot of shit come easy. Had to work hard, struggle just to be me. Had to and what was left over I put towards my dreaming. But the only thing in life that has meaning are the things you gotta work for, believe me. Take into your hands a plan, your own hands can land your own brand. And damn, I feel like no one takes accountability. They want the credibility, convincingly unwilling to put in the hours it takes to get some power. Don't be f***ing sour, take a cold shower. Scream until you're louder, work until you're prouder. And f*** all the doubters, they're just your downers. I swear to God they all let me down. I always fought.
I can tell you that 7 years after Freddie Gray, that was 2015, spring, April, May. This is 2022. Communities like Sandtown, all we saw then and now in terms of investment was a renovated Western District Police Station and a new funeral home. That's what West Baltimore got. A new police station and a new funeral home. What kind of optics are they? Was Freddie Gray any different than 1968 Baltimore riots? Dr. King's passing, killing, murder? This is the same?
No, it wasn't. I mean, I think, well, first of all, people who are being violent and burning, that's, all that's the same. But the point is what was the cause and what were they attempting to register?
I always fought just to wear the crown. I'm off at these fucking clowns.
I love you.
They deserve an ounce. It's
got next. And on me,
it's only worth it if you work for it. I won't stop till they hear me now. I won't stop till I wear the crown. I swear to God they all let me down. I always fought just to wear the crown. I'm off at these fucking
Good morning, good morning, good morning. First name's Donnie, last name's Glover. In it to win it for the long haul, baby. Thank you for joining the show. Make sure you like and share this broadcast. Do check out my books. I Am Black Wall Street tells a story of how those people got to Oklahoma. There are many stories about Tulsa's Black Wall Street. I wanted to look at the history and the heroes that we never knew about, like Chief John Horse. Did you know that during slavery, if you escaped to Florida, they called it La Florida, you would be free. You had to agree to fight for the Spanish crown and you had to convert to Christianity, but you would be free. Did you know that? They never taught us that in school, but it's in this book, and that's why you want to get it. You also want to get my first book that came out in 2015, Unapologetically Black. And yes, that's the White House in the backdrop. We're going to bring up our guest for today, Mr. Sharif Small. He has his annual Wealth Summit coming up. But before I get to that, I just want to put a shout out there. We live here in the city of Baltimore. And if you know, like we know, we've seen a lot of people who claim to be leaders. They claim to be leaders. But I'm reminded that when you're truly a leader, you don't need any cameras. You don't need photographers. You don't even need social media. B. Gaddy, for instance, was that type of leader. And when she finally ran for office, she didn't have the support of any of the elected officials at City Hall. Not one of them. Now one of them supported B. Gaddy, and she won anyway. And so that's a reminder to somebody like me that if you're doing what the good Lord put you here to do, and he gave you the vision, then he will give you the provision. Big won without the traditional resources that the other people had, like East Side Democratic Organization. She ran with the people and she won. She didn't win it first, but she won. I think it was her second time out. She didn't need the elected officials. She had the people. I wish we had more leaders like that. So often our leaders get caught up in this game of prominence, this game hungry to be important. But the real question is, who have you helped? And a lot of times we find that these people help themselves and no one else. But anyway, we want to help you get your leadership together. And we're bringing up Mr. Sharif Small. Good morning, Sharif. How you doing?
Hey, morning, Donna. How you doing this morning?
Hey, we can barely see your face, man.
Can't see me? Can you see me now?
Turn the camera. You got to adjust the camera. Put some light on you.
Put some light on. You know, I'm a dark-skinned dude, so you know it's.
That's why you need a brighter light.
Yeah, that's true. How you doing this morning?
I won't complain. Can you see me?
Oh yeah, I can see you.
You got to get yourself one of these ring lights, man. You ever seen a ring light?
Yeah, my wife got one, and she called it her clothers.
Oh, you got to borrow that thing, brother. All right, so you've been doing this wealth summit. How many years now? 11?
It's since 2013. So next year be the 10th year. So
10 years.
Yeah, next year be the 10th. This will be our 9th year. Doing the 10-year be the 10-year anniversary.
What?
Yeah, been doing this since 2013. Yeah, talk about building generational wealth. Yeah.
Okay, so this is the 9th one. I'm trying to clarify.
Yeah, this is the 9th one.
Okay. You want to come to? Can you come to the center of the screen a little bit? You got half of your face over there.
There we go. Is that better?
Yeah, we see your face. Okay.
Better.
So tell us all about it.
Yeah, so it's called Generational Wealth Diversity Summit, and what this summit is about us coming together and talk about how can we build wealth within our communities. So we're talking about one, how do we reduce poverty, right? Because we know that plays a big factor in us building wealth, and then also how do we own wealth assets, right? So we have experts on the panel where they come in and they talk about these areas about building generational wealth, and it's a free event. It's this Saturday, October the 1st. Is at Reginald Lewis Museum, and it was spearheaded by Reginald Lewis himself. You know, I read his book, you know, Why Should White Guys Have All the Fun? And for what he accomplished, you know, in this short period of time, I feel like his story, many people still don't know his story. So we thought it was good to have the event there. It was good to have these conversations. But from this event, I'm hoping that when people come, they have like an action plan. You know, they come with a spirit of how they can build wealth in their families and how we can reduce poverty within our communities. In addition to that, we always do a tribute to our trailblazers. We feel like there are a lot of people that advocated, there are a lot of people that have done great things within our communities. But for some reason, we don't know their story. So we did a tribute the last couple of years. In addition to Roger F. Lewis, we did it for Arnold Jolivet. We did it, you know, for Victorine and Willie Adams. You know, we did it for Robert Clay. And this year we're doing a tribute to oldest Warren family, senior, junior, and the third. What people don't know about, you know, their background and what they've done in real estate. You know, they've really shown the way how we can really build wealth. But a lot of people don't know the story. So we're going to declare it, you know, oldest Warren Day at the event. Also, we're going to have exhibitors at the event giving out valuable information. So community, you know, government organizations going to be giving out valuable free information. So we're looking forward for people to come and just become financially empowered and inspired.
Okay. You said a lot there. I don't even know where to start.
Well, the thing is start at 10 o'clock.
Let's start at the beginning. The first thing you said was you mentioned poverty, how we create poverty. How do we create poverty?
Well, unfortunately, poverty was created not just by
I didn't know that I created poverty.
Well, no, we didn't create poverty. It's a lot of times it's created by this political system and just the society, you know, that we're in. The key thing is how do we reduce poverty and get ourselves out of poverty? That's what one of this event is about, because In the state of Maryland, poverty is around 10%, but then in Baltimore, it's about over 22%. So the double of
So
poverty in the city of, yeah.
let's go to the definition, because I tend to be, one to want to look up. Let's get to the definition of poverty. So poverty is the state of being extremely poor.
Yep. And broke. There's a difference being poor and broke.
That's from our perspective, but
Yeah.
we're going to deal with them first. The state of being extremely poor, the state of being inferior in quality or insufficient in amount, the renunciation of the right to individual ownership of property as part of a religious vow. Now, you just said something that I agree with. Broke is what they're talking about. Or is that so? I mean, because is poverty temporary or permanent?
Well, for right now, it's been going for far too long within our communities. It's been
There's a
permanent
level of
within our
permanency.
in our society, and what we're trying to do is trying to end that permanency, within our community. I always say that poor men you got a little bit, broke men you ain't got nothing. I mean, that's just what I see as. I've been a financial planner and a tax accountant for almost 20 years. So when you sitting down, with people that look like you, and then you sit down with people that don't look like you see the wealth gap every single day. And to be honest, Frank, I'm just tired of seeing it. And that's one of the other reasons why I spearheaded, this event. Growing up in Park Heights and poverty and inequality going around, we know this resonates within all of our cities and our low income areas. Now, education, political system, incarceration, unemployment, vacant houses, all this plays a effect in how we live within our neighborhoods, and the lack of resources and the power that's around us. So what we're trying to do is provide those resources where we can bring it back to our communities, and we can find ways to reduce that poverty, and we can increase in quality, and we can increase the quality of life. And that's really what it comes down to, is the quality of life that we experience in our communities, and especially within the city of Baltimore. Overall, the quality of life is poor. I'm a landlord, so I own commercial buildings, I own apartment complexes. When I buy houses from people
Hold up, Sharif. You're saying a lot of things there, and I want to break this down.
Yeah.
Now, there are a lot of abandoned houses.
Too many.
There are a lot of people who don't have a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
But there are things that we have, like free education, that we are increasingly turning our backs on.
Well, in my opinion, education starts at home. But there you got to think of our family situations are broken. If father's in prison under 14, mother's on drugs, how are they going to learn? And then when they go to school, how are they going to act? So it's like we got to make sure that we are rebuilding, because what's broken got to be rebuilt. So that's one of the foundations of it, that we trying to rebuild our families, rebuild our communities. And to do that is with education, information, and resources. We think of financial literacy. Financial literacy is not taught in schools. It's barely taught, at home. So when we have our young people that are growing up, and if they do go to school, yes, they could wind up going to college. Yes, they can wind up graduating. But a lot of times they can also wind up graduating with student loan debt, and then wind up having a job that where they live in paycheck to paycheck and not purpose to purpose. So we got to make sure that we're.
Let me say this. Again, you're saying a lot. I would like to comment. If a student loan can get you to a good college, a college that can change your trajectory, what a great investment.
It depends.
It does depend, but it doesn't have to be a bad investment.
I'm not.
As a matter of fact, I would say my student loans are the best investment in myself that I could have made.
And I would say
Morehouse if it weren't for student loans.
Yeah, everybody's experience is different. If I could do it all over again, I would have stayed away from student loans, because keep in mind,
Morehouse without the loans.
Oh,
and getting the Morehouse open up some
but
doors that would
but
not have been open
you gotta
at
realize
Morgan State
everybody's situation.
University or at Towson State
So,
University.
well, I went to Towson, so
I went to
Morgan.
Towson too, but I
Yeah, so
preferred Morehouse.
well, let me finish what I'm saying. Well, going to Morehouse, I mean, that's a
I'm
great
trying to
experience.
break down where we're going because
I
you're
have
throwing a
a
lot of things out
Yeah.
there, and we don't want the regular spiel. We want some.
Well, I don't know. Well, first of all, I don't get record spills. I get real spills. I don't get record spills. I get real spills. So I'm gonna be honest with you. I tell my people to stay away from college. Now, if they're gonna go to Morehouse, if they can get a scholarship, I mean, that's great. Because you can go to community college or you can go into the military to save some money.
I
And if
wanted
not,
to
you
go
can
to
transfer.
Morehouse.
And then
I'm
you can
very much
transfer.
wanted to go there.
And that's the thing, a lot of people, if they have to have a plan of what they really want to do, you got to understand. Most people that are going to college don't even have a plan, and they're wasting
I
their
can't
time.
say that, Sharif, because I've not met most people going
Well,
to
I
college.
have because I'm a financial planner. So when I meet with families and I'm sitting down with them,
You've
I
met
see.
with a lot of people, but you have
Mhm.
not met with most people going to college. That's
Oh, yes,
way
I have.
too many.
Yes, I have. I mean, I've been a financial planner for almost 20 years. I got in this field in
Man,
2002.
I've been
So
a journalist for
don't let,
28
don't
years,
let this,
and I
don't
know
let this
that
boys, don't let this boys look fool you. I'm just
there are
being honest.
340 million Americans, Sharif.
I understand that.
You have not
But
met
hey,
most of them, have you?
we can agree to disagree at the end of the day. End of the day, I will make sure that people are financially free and that they're debt free. And there are other options to pay for college. Student loan is not the only option to pay
I
for
didn't
college.
say it
It's not.
was. I did
And
say that I wouldn't
and
have went to
but
Morehouse.
there's other options that people can get to Morehouse without taking out student loan debt. There
Like
are
what?
other options, and that's the key thing. But we can agree to disagree in the end of the day, keep it moving. At the end of the day, we're here to talk about how do we build generational wealth in our communities. That's what I'm on the show
How do
about.
we build generational wealth, Sharif?
Well, the key thing and first thing is that we gotta get rid of these vacant houses within our communities. First thing, and secondly, we gotta better educate our kids. We got to improve our school systems. We got to get rid of these vacant houses, and we got
Why
to
do you
rebuild
have
our
to get
families.
vacant
We
houses
have
and
to we have to
houses?
rebuild our families. Our families are broken, and we have to rebuild that.
But
So
you're
this
making a
is it.
correlation between vacant houses and broken families.
Yeah,
I'm not seeing the
and
correlation.
and education too. They all play. It's a triangle effect. It all plays a part. So with me, my dad was a single dad raising me and my twin brother and
My
partner.
dad lived in the
and,
household.
and and in the city of Baltimore. But my dad, he taught us the importance of education because it
My
started at
dad
home.
and my mom taught me the importance of an
See,
education.
but unfortunately, many people don't experience that, right? So you going to more reason why you got a good education is, and you thought about going to Morehouse because that was inbred in you. Most of our young people that are growing up sitting in Baltimore, they not
I'm
experiencing
going to tell you, I always knew I was going to college, but it was a
it.
counselor at Dunbar
Yeah,
High School
good
named
stuff.
Lillian Gundy who simply said to me, "You look like a Morehouse man." I
That's good stuff.
applied, I got accepted, and I went. Now, let
That
me
was
tell
good
you,
stuff.
Mr. Sharif, it wasn't until I got to Morehouse that I realized, compared to some of my schoolmates, that I was fiscally challenged.
Of course.
However, going away from Baltimore at the age of
Mhm.
18 for 2 years
Yeah.
easily saved my life.
Mm. And that's great stuff. That's definitely great stuff.
And I
But
would
you need,
recommend any
yeah.
young black man coming out of Baltimore in particular to leave Baltimore.
Hey, I did that my first year. I went to Elizabeth City in North Carolina. But you know what? I wasn't ready for college. I didn't
Why
get good
weren't
grades.
you? Sure
I
you were.
didn't. So no. After my first year, I came back home because I barely graduated from high school, but I went to Elizabeth City actually to play football. That was my main thing. I wanted to play ball, dream of playing in the NFL. But then after my first year, I couldn't go back because again, I wasn't mature enough and ready for college. So I came back, went to community college, worked, and start paying for my education. And then when I was ready, I finished up with the Towson and I got scholarships. I got a 3.0 and graduated with honors. So again, your experience is going to be different than mine at the end of the day when it really comes down to it. Some people are ready for college, some people are not. So it just really, really depends, right? If they're ready for college, and they can take on that student loan debt, but then they can monitor and manage it and know that in return, the type of career field and the type of career they're going to get into, and they know that they can pay it off as soon as they can, then yeah, that's an option. But it's a case by case situation.
On Sundays here in Sandtown, around 5 p.m., the dirt bikes come through.
I see that every day.
I've watched some of the most talented young black men ride up Pennsylvania Avenue with one hand, the other hand up in the air, navigating through traffic with a young lady on the back of the bike. They are jeopardizing their lives. One slip and both of them are dead.
And you know they don't have insurance either, probably.
We have the ability to make life or death decisions. And you're right. It does start at home. But my thought is, if you have the ability to ride a bike up Pennsylvania Avenue through traffic with a girl on the back, then you have some skills, and they just need to be honed.
Well, all our kids have skills. They just need guidance and they need purpose. So, like, I go to different schools. I have a nonprofit. We teach kids financial literacy, entrepreneurship, and real estate. But we also working on apprenticeship programs. We talk about plumbing, electrical, HVAC. A lot of our kids have a lot of skills. We just got to guide them into what career field that would be best for them, where they can find, their purpose. So we got to connect with our kids. And the key thing is that we got to go to these schools and connect with them. It's hard to get into the homes and be able to do that. But we can get to the schools, or even if we in the neighborhoods, community associations, or we see some squeegee kids. There's opportunities where I hand them my cards and say, hey, give me a call. I like to be able to, hire you with at first. I want to be able to interview or mentor you first. Then I can hire you. Then I can put some money in your pocket. A lot of these kids, they need job skills, they need etiquette skills, but they have it in them. We just got to be able to connect with them and bring it out of them. That's the key thing right there. But yeah, what I see, every single day, growing up in Baltimore, I bought my office building on 25th Street. So I operate my office in Baltimore. So I always try to connect with our families, with our kids, and just really try to provide financial literacy as much as we can. But when we do that, we have to mentor. It's called career financial life skills. Our kids in our community, we need life skills to be able to build generational wealth. We got to think about owning properties. We got to think about owning businesses, right? We got to think of owning equity that's going to appreciate in value. And then we can leave that for our kids and our grandkids. I mean, that's what Reginald Lewis did. That's what Otis Warren, family did. His third generation that is running the family-owned business. You don't hear that often within our communities, right? So even he got gifted that on his birthday. So just think of, this time of the year, with the holidays coming up, Black Friday, we're thinking more of spending as opposed to saving and investing. He received a family gift.
With that, Sharif. I think, especially as a result of COVID, if anybody has gotten smarter fiscally and put less pressure on Christmas.
That's not what I see. There's something from online.
Time out. I'm entitled to my opinion.
Okay, I'm entitled to mine too. Yeah.
I'm just trying to express my opinion. Is that okay?
Gotcha.
I think a lot of people are getting smarter and not wasting money on things they don't need because they have less money to work with. And if I have less money to work with, do I go out there and put a Benz in front of my house, or do I fix my house?
Common
sense says I fix my house because I can live in my house. I can't live in my Benz.
Well, unfortunately, I'm seeing people racking up credit card debt, right? So it's not just about people having money in their bank account. I'm just telling you what I see as a financial planner, as a tax account. When the beginning of January comes,
where most of your clients based?
I have clients all over. So, I work remotely too.
So you're saying Black people across the board?
I have clients in California. I have clients in Ohio. I have
Are you
clients in
saying
Florida.
that black people are racking up more credit than other groups of people?
It's always been like that because, again, lack of financial education, right? When it really comes down to, because if we don't have
Let me
saving,
tell you
we
what I
don't
see,
have
Sharif. In my
literacy
alley
reserve.
right now, they are white addicts. Their people had a 400-year head start on black people, but they are out there and they don't look financially well off to me.
Well, I'm on 25th Street, so we got recovery centers up and down here. So yeah, I
These
see
not
people that don't.
recovery. These are addicts.
I
They
see
live in
addicts.
the alley. They
Let
eat
me.
out the
Yeah,
garbage can.
you gave your opinion. Can I get mine? Okay, thank you. All right, so I'm on 25th Street, right? So a block away, Greenmount, up and down. So in addition to seeing recovery addicts, I see addicts at the same time. So I see white people and I see black people. But at the end of the day, I was saying, well, black people, when I see their bank account, let's be real. Let's look at the bank account. Let's look at the assets that we own. Let's look at the debt that we
I don't
accumulate.
care who you
I
are. If you shooting cocaine and dope, you gonna be broke.
I get that, but let's talk about a culture, right? Let's look at it from a culture standpoint. Like we look at it from an
Do you know any
individual,
well-off
black
black
and white.
people, Sharif?
Let's look at it from a culture standpoint. From a culture
Because I
standpoint,
know a
I'm
lot of
seeing
black people
more
who
of
are
us.
doing well.
I see more. Yeah, of course, I'm doing well. I had a house built in Forest Park Golf Course. So, but at the end of the day, I'm talking about overall. Let's look at it from an overall standpoint, right? Our lack of wealth, we're at negative and we're at zero. When it compared to whites, when it compared to Asians, when it compared to Indians, let's look at it from that standpoint. We don't have what we need to build wealth.
So
We
what do
have
we
it,
need?
but we need to tap into it. We have to can get control of our finances. That's the key thing right there. It's a mindset thing, right? It's an education thing. 80% of what NFL players go broke, 60% of NBA players go broke because again,
Oh, slow down,
lack of
slow down.
financial education, lack of
You said
information,
8%.
lack of resources. And you gotta understand, well, a lot of these young men, black men in particular, where they are coming from. They're
Okay,
not
can you
taught
go
these
back to the
things.
football? You said 8%.
No, 80. I didn't say 8, 80.
That's why I wanted
80%
you to take the
NFL,
time because I wasn't hearing you.
60% of NBA, 80% of NFL. And I used to work with NFL players, NBA players. I've been to an NFL draft, been to the combine. I've been to these things. Yes, my twin used to work for a sports agency. he
Maybe
went to,
we
he
put
went to,
too much emphasis on sports.
Of course, that's why when I work with the kids, I talk to them about plumbing, electrical, HVAC. I talked about a career in accounting and a career in
That's a
financial
part of the
planning
culture
because
too, Sharif.
we're we're unrepresented in these areas, like far as accountants and financial planners. When I
But
go to these schools and when I go to colleges, and I was at Towson University last Monday, right? They had Monday before they had a man-to-man program. So I talked about the importance of financial planning, but I also talked about them about a possible career in the field because if we're going to learn, we need to have more people that look like us that represent us coming back and teaching us within our communities, right? It's all about us. How do we expand more of us into these areas where we can come back and we expose our, because the key thing you gotta think of what are we exposed to? We're exposed to drugs, we're exposed to crime, we're exposed to poverty, we're exposed to inequality. Now, let's get it real. Baltimore has pockets of wealth. We got Mount Washington, we got Roland Park, we have downtown. Even where I live at near the Forest Park Golf Course is middle. I had a house built near the golf course. But overall, when I go down the street or go around the corner, or go about like 5 blocks away in Park Heights, where I grew up at, in the Central Park of Park Heights, it's totally. And you know why I know that? Because I have apartment complexes, I have properties that are in Park Heights that I'm renovating and providing first-time home buyers with to build wealth from themselves, or apartment complexes when I'm buying it from people that don't look like me, that are slumlords, and we give them new kitchen, we give them new bathroom, and we're improving the quality of life or reducing lead as much as possible. So there are ways where we have to make sure we are investing within our neighborhoods and we're changing the living conditions for our people. We have to do that.
Anything else you'd like to add?
Well, if you can come this Saturday, I highly recommend at 10 o'clock, come to the Generation of Wealth Summit. We can have these type of more conversations more in detail. It's a free event. You can register on Eventbrite and find Generation of Wealth Summit. It's a free event. We just want people to come be financially empowered and inspired. At the end of the day, we just got to work together. We can have differences, but at the end of the day, we are the same spirit and we can just work together and make changes within our community for the positive.
Is there a website?
Yeah, the website is wealthversussummit.org. Also on our website is financial empower movement.org. It's also on social media. So on Facebook, you can just Google Generational Wealth Summit and you can also register as well. So you just Google Generational Wealth Versus Summit, the link for the Eventbrite come up, the social media page will come up. And we're looking forward to people just coming, be financial power and inspiring and to change their mindset and to make good financial decisions and think about leaving a legacy for the next generation. So thank you for Donnie for just having me on your show. I definitely appreciate that. I admire the great things that you do and that you talk about. And I was looking forward to future discussions in the future.
Good deal. Thank you very much for joining us.
Hey, thank you, Donnie. Appreciate it.
Okay. So we'd like to thank you for joining us today here on the show. My name is Donnie Glover. Do check out blackusa.news, also bemorenews.com, the news before the news. Want to take a moment and thank the many sponsors that keep this network alive and kicking, including Mr. Bob DeShield, attorney at law, Kenny Brown with the Northwest Voice newspaper. If you're out there in Catonsville, Woodlawn, Randallstown, Pikesville, and Owings Mills. If you need a good lawyer, we've got a few of them, including Mr. Billy Murphy, attorney Bob DeShield. Mr. DeShield is real good with business contracts, corporate law. Shout out to Mr. Malcolm Ruff, Esquire, young black attorney. Again, we just spoke with Sharif Small. Let me just say, college is the best investment that I could ever make in myself. College should be something that, I agree, should be placed in a child's mind in the womb. We have to teach our young people. We also have to mean what we say. We have to articulate what we say so that we are good communicators. And that involves good listening. And when it's our turn to speak, it also includes articulating and enunciating. It's not enough anymore just to say, hey, I deserve a shot. You have to earn your shot. Quite frankly, our ancestors were told that we had to be twice as good as our white counterparts in order to succeed in America. That's just how I was raised. Excellence in all areas. I do think that sports get us really messed up all kinds of ways. First of all, it's a self-esteem issue. We have to build a child's self-esteem up. So whether they're the star quarterback or not, their self-esteem is intact. And in a city like Baltimore, there are a lot of things against all people, frankly, black, white, and otherwise, that challenge our self-esteem. When you go outside and, as Sharif noted, you see a bunch of vacant houses, that can be damaging to your self-esteem. When you hear people on your corner selling drugs, that can be damaging to your self-esteem. When you get off the subway and you see people shooting dope in public, it can be damaging to your whole sense of wholeness. It's like, what's going on? And right now, I think Sharif and I very much agree that Baltimore is off the chain. And it starts at home. Maybe some people should not be having babies. Maybe they should be focused more so on getting their lives together. But whatever the case, what I do not want is for people to think that they are victims. You are what you think you are. If you think you're a victim, you will be a victim. If you think you are a victor, meaning no matter what the world throws at you, you and God got it. If you know that God brought you to it and then God will bring you through it, and I'll give you Christian, Muslim, what have you, Ain't but one creator that made everybody on earth. You find me a creator, you find me more than one creator. Because all people got hearts, brains, everybody had a mama and a daddy. Just the fundamentals. Then we all going through stuff out here, black, white, and otherwise. Indian, Pakistani, Bangladesh, China, Korea, everybody is going through something. So on that note, greetings to we have an audience that's international, by the way. Jumbo to our brethren over who speak Swahili. Bonjour. Como se va to our Frenchmen and Francophone countries. Buenos dias to all that. And this is Hispanic Heritage Month. And we need to get somebody on here to talk about Hispanic Heritage Month. Sometimes it's confusing. You got Hispanic, you got Latino, then you got Latinx. Similar to the evolution, I imagine, of black people. From Negro to colored to black to African American to black. At the end of the day, if we just gave respected people, and not put our values on other people, then we'd be all right. We have a bunch of shows. You got to check out this lady, Quandra Gaines. She's on Wednesday nights at 7 p.m. Quandra, since we got a minute, you want to come in and tell us about your show? Feel free. Last night we had Yolanda Pulley, and she took a pause with Frontline News. They were there in a housing project, and our very dear Yolanda Pulley sent me a picture of some rats. You go into StreamYard and you click this show, Quandra. You went into Yolanda Pulley was in the projects, and she sent me a picture of a litter of baby rats on a little girl's bed. And I asked her, well, did somebody make the bed up and not see the rats? And it was explained to me that they're dealing with a rat infestation. And that's why Yolanda Pulley wasn't on last night at 6 o'clock. I know. I'm at a loss. Maybe I should just show you the picture. It really, I mean, what do you say to somebody? They send you a picture of some rats. What do you think? Those are baby rats in somebody's bedroom, a little girl's bedroom. We're going to get the real story later. What else we got? After Yolanda Pulley is Chap and Quita. They have shared space, followed by the Robert Report with Mr. Robert Washington. We have shows from Baltimore, New York, D.C., Atlanta, Oakland, and Los Angeles. If you like the show, just send an email to the editor and let's see about getting your show. We've not charged anyone. We just need consistency. Hello to Tashia Brogans, Coach. I have not seen you in a minute. A dear friend who's been very active in the political realm. We all should be active. The election is getting closer, November the 8th. I think it's pretty clear who we need to vote for here in the state of Maryland. I'm not even sure why we have to have a general election, because the answer is that overwhelmingly obvious to everyone who we all should be voting for. I think that's about it. My name's Donnie Glover. I'm going to get on up out of here. You do have a marvelous day. Seems like I'm forgetting something. We got a couple of events let me plug. We have the Sandtown Winchester Community Meeting coming up on October the 13th from 6 to 8 p.m. at Sharon Baptist Church. October the 13th, we have a number of reports from various segments. It's our hope to speak with police, also housing. The brunch pictures coming up. Big ups to Tasmia, Quita, Mark Clark, Mike Knight, Sean Stinnett, Brandon Andrews, October the 4th, cash prize for the brunch pitch. It's going to be October the 4th. It's going to be 6 to 8 p.m. at Darker Than Blue. You can go to bemorenews.com for these and other details. Also, make sure you check out Bob Wallace's book, Let God Be God, using God's disruptive power to change your life and the world. And one other thing, well, we know about Sharif's event, the Pigtown Festival, that's coming up on October the 8th. Pigtown Festival, October the 8th, 12 to 7, a fall classic. It'll be in the 700 to 1100 blocks of Washington Boulevard. And again, if you'd like the show, hit us up. We find you a time slot, show you how things work. And to date, we've not charged a single soul for a show. We have about 16 shows. Again, New York, Baltimore, D.C., Atlanta, Oakland, and L.A., including Mr. Troy Rollins, originally from Baltimore. My name's Donnie Glover. Thank you for joining us. Mr. William Hunter Blue coming up at 10 o'clock with the morning show. And then, again, Troy Rollins at noon. Donnie Glover out. Have a beautiful day. Good morning, world.